Welcome to
Messy Bun Sisters Podcast.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is episode 8. Episode 8.
Ding, 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 ding.
I got really sad for a second because literally once we started, I heard the baby start crying.
He just goes,
oh, sad. Pobrecito.
yeah.
Anyways,
sleepy baby.
Today's episode is going to be really interesting. We're talking about growing up in a Christian family and kind of like worship leading, because we've both been into like music and worship leading. So I'm excited to.
And how that's affected our lives.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
And, oh, I hear him again. And I'm wearing a button-down shirt this time. But I made sure it was really big.
I know. I asked her if she wanted to switch me spots, and she said no.
But look how big it is this time.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
Just
anyway.
be aware.
Okay. Oh, man.
Anyways.
We're in like the season of pumpkins and... Oh my gosh, that baby is screaming.
I wonder if they can hear it.
It's okay. He's just a baby and babies cry and you literally just put him back to sleep and he's like you. When you wake up in the morning, you're not happy.
I've gotten a lot better.
Well, maybe not when you were a baby.
When I was a baby.
It took you 27 years.
Yes, you're right.
It
did.
He's going to go back to sleep. It's okay.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, so.
And if not, you can just go take care of him and I'll just do the podcast by myself.
How rude. His dad is out there. His dad can do it. I believe in him.
Both of his
uncles, yeah.
2 of his uncles. The other one is
3 men and a baby.
Oh my God.
They should have a podcast out there.
Oh my God. No, they couldn't handle it.
Oh,
so we're going to do a cool, fun segment this time. Review of the week.
Yay!
If you want to be featured on Review of the Week,
Leave a review.
You just go to our podcast on iTunes and give us 5 stars because, I mean...
Well, we have 8 out of 8 that's given us 5 stars.
Yeah, thank you. Alyssa, there will become a day where someone's going to give us 1 star. Burped. There's going to be a day where someone gives us 2 stars. It's
probably going to be because of your burps.
I'm just being me.
Okay.
Everybody burps, so I don't care.
Okay.
And you know me, I don't care if we have like 1,000... If we have more 1-star reviews than we do 5-star reviews, maybe
then we'll stop the podcast.
Oh no, someone's going to start that, but whatever. No, I'll never stop. Okay, so this review comes from Starting a Riot, and it says, "These are so fun. 2 hearts. You guys are awesome." And the review was just like a little red heart. Aww. That's so nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Starting a Riot. And then we also had a YouTube comment. That could be part of our
comment of the week.
YouTube comment of the week.
Also comment on YouTube too.
So yeah, we'll do iTunes review and YouTube comment of the week. Mm-hmm. And this comment of the week comes from somebody very special to us. It's from the Renee Hernandez, our dad. And it said
Renee Hernandez.
I don't know what happened. That's how I talked to Liam. No, and he said, "Tastes like purple." Inside joke.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for your support.
Oh my gosh.
Another way that you can support us too is with our Patreon account.
Yay!
Yeah.
Go talk about it a little.
You can talk about it.
Okay, so Patreon basically is a monthly subscription, I guess you can say. If you would like to sponsor our podcast, we will give you like cool insights to stuff. We'll do like special meet and greet stuff. Ooh. I mean, if you're our friend, we'll like do more cool stuff. Alyssa will give away stuff, and maybe I'll give you some stuff too.
Have you relaunched your thing yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So I have a little side hustle again. Actually, I have 2.
You have all the side hustles.
But they're both like they're both fun to me.
Yeah.
You know, so one where I actually like create products. And they're cute little things. And then once I launch them, then, you guys can have access to that too.
Cool.
As a Patreon. The lowest one is like $2 a month.
Yeah.
Which is like $24 a year.
But it would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that much money. Is it?
I'm like,
Anyway.
Dad said the other day that he like dropped a quarter somewhere and he went back to pick it up and somebody was like, that was just a quarter. And Dad was like, back in my day. Sorry, that was really loud.
Yeah.
Back in my day, a quarter could get us a soda pop or something. And I was like, Dad,
God,
you know that you're
in his
getting
50s.
Yeah, you know that you're getting old when you're like, back in my day.
Oh my God.
A quarter got us a whole gallon of milk.
Which it probably did. Mom and Dad told me that they're baby boomers.
No.
Yeah. They said
They're Gen X.
no. They're at the end of baby boomers.
Okay.
So like 1964, I guess, is baby boomers. So they were both.
Wow.
I know. Even Lisa.
Wow.
Aunt Robin, you're not. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's crazy.
That's really weird.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Speaking of
Of
parents.
family. Yeah, parents and family. Let's get into it. So
I'm getting sweaty.
that's going to show your... You guys, if
man.
you're watching on YouTube, you get all the
You're in for a
insights.
treat.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about growing up in a Christian family. So our parents, they grew up in a Christian family, but they grew up Catholic, which is different than how we were raised.
I mean, it's the same like thing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They grew up Christian, but Catholic. It's like another...
It's like a different, I would say like a denomination.
Yeah.
Which there's like thousands of denominations in Christianity.
So when do you think we started going to church?
I mean, I remember as a young person, like little baby. I don't remember being a little baby, but I remember going to Catholic school, no church. I remember going to Catholic church as like a toddler.
Okay.
And we were all baptized in the Catholic church,
Yes.
all three of us. But I remember actually going to church, like the non-denominational church. The first thing I remember is like the church had like two huge, like identical buildings. And I remember like just them seeming so big. So I was so, short or small, whatever. They're just 2-story. But
you know what that just reminded me of that dream the recurring dream I had for a long time.
Yeah.
I
remember
those buildings.
Okay. I want to talk about that too, because that was kind of crazy. Your recurring dream. And it has to do with church, kind of.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Anyway, so that was like my first, like memory of like remembrance. I live in remembrance. My first memory of like going to, and I remember like, so we went to another church actually before that. It was like, okay, so
Not me.
No,
I was like born at the church we grew up at.
Kind of. Well, I think we started going there in 1992.
I was born in 91.
I know. Anyway, so I remember them going to a different church, and it was like, so the Catholic church is very like reverent. Like when you go to the Catholic church, I feel like everybody's really reverent, which is
Catholic.
Okay. Catholic church is very reverent. And then different denominations of Christianity is very like wild and outward.
Yeah.
And so we went to a church in between the church that we grew up at. And I remember it being really wild and crazy. I mean, we're talking like flags and, people with banners.
No way.
I mean, obviously you don't remember, but
I was
like
a baby.
Yeah, like it was just a lot of stuff. I mean, the church you grew up was kind of like that, but not as intense as the one in the middle.
Oh, I guess there was flags. I was part of the dance team at one point.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Yeah. Dance team at church. We were both part of a dance team at church. Very different dance teams.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, didn't you do like midnight prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
We danced to like Hava Nagila.
How are some of the dances? But what's funny is our church wasn't Jewish. You know, it was just like the church really liked Israel.
Yeah.
And so like we did some Jewish churches, but like our Jewish dances and songs, but
I don't know.
Like Jewish.
Yeah.
Like it's dance to Hava Nagila.
That was good too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What was your first memory of our church?
I don't know if I have a first memory, like a memory, but when you talked about, I'll talk about my dream, because I had that dream for the first time. I was probably in kindergarten.
That's weird.
Because, okay, so.
Talk about your recurring dream.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because when the church that we went to also had a school, and we grew up at that school too.
Yeah.
We grew up at that school. And the preschool was at the church. So I was probably in preschool when I had this dream.
That's really
and
weird.
I remember it. And I don't have a lot of memories. I don't. So it was like it was me and Dad, and we were in one of the buildings, and we could see the other identical building from across the way. And there's like this.
You were inside the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were looking at the windows, and you could see like the courtyard or whatever it is in between. And I looked out with Dad, and the sky was like red. The sky was red, and there are like literally balls of fire in the air. Scary. As a 4-year-old, terrifying.
Yeah.
Actually, as a 26-year-old, terrifying. And
Oh, God.
I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb. And I just remember looking out, and there was a man like on the balls of fire. Like
a man
standing
on the balls of fire?
Yeah. I'll tell you who it was later.
Okay.
But
who
I'll tell you who it was later. Read my mind.
I think I know. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't
Sister
that?
Flo.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was like my dream. And then I had it reoccurring my whole life. I haven't had it in a long time, but
Your
it's
whole
very,
life?
not my whole life. I probably had it 4 times in my lifetime.
Maybe it was prophetic.
Whoa. Now that I think about it, maybe it was.
Okay, so this goes into like parallel universes and like our dreams are.
We talked about that today, how our dreams, if you see people in your dream, it's somebody that you have seen before. Whoa.
Also, another thing that I have about dreams is, what if dreams are just like wormholes or gateways into another universe? I don't know.
We're getting off topic here.
I guess this is what a Christian life does to me.
I mean, it's good because it opens
I
your
feel like
mind
also
to
I feel like
wonder.
I've been sick for like allergy sick for like a month. I feel like every time I'm just like coughing. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Same. Okay, so preschool, kindergarten through 12th grade, all at the same. No. For me, all at the same Christian school. You started somewhere else.
Yeah, I went, but it was still a Christian school.
Oh, really?
It was Northwest Hills Christian School.
Okay.
But
Shout out.
It was like kindergarten and first grade is when I went there.
Oh, so you started.
In second grade.
Wow.
At the other school, yeah.
Did you love it? We'll talk about it really quickly because I think we're going to talk more in depth about our school time.
Like
on
high school
another
and stuff.
podcast.
I mean, maybe. Did I love going to a Christian school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I think what I liked most about it, about like my schooling, is that it was small classes. And I mean, the only the only thing that I noticed that was like a big difference between my friends that like went to public school was like we learned about the Bible.
Right.
And we had like a Bible class, and we had to go to chapel once a week.
And then we had memory verses is what we
Like,
called
yeah,
them.
I guess in elementary school, we did have I mean, I didn't have my memory verses in high school or anything like that. Did you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I just
think
had
we studied the
apologetics
Bible.
with Mr. Atkinson. And it was
Mr.
really,
Atkinson.
I know, it was like really intense. So, I believe everyone like had Mr. Atkinson's class like on 12th grade, and it was like a big
like
deal.
scary Bible class. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, he taught me in 10th grade, and I had him in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Yeah. Maybe it was 11th and 12th, because I had Mr. Anderson, who like just literally taught about the book of Nehemiah, and that was the whole class. R.I.P. Mr. Anderson.
Wow.
I know, it was pretty crazy. And then, yeah, I mean, that was really like the only difference. Another thing too is like, even though a lot of us were like really mediocre in sports, we could still like participate in sports because
Right.
it was a small school, you know?
Right.
That's another like good thing I think about being a part of like a small Christian school or like a private school or
Right.
charter school, whatever you want to do. That's really the only.
Are you
like,
going to send your kids to private school?
no.
Whoa.
Are you?
Thinking about it.
Well,
I liked that there was a lot of influence at school for Christianity.
but I mean, at the end of the day,
It's the at home.
it's not, yeah, it's at home, but also like take your kids to church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like we have friends that went to public school that have the same knowledge.
Right. The
and-
biggest plus is the small
Yeah.
friend groups that you can make.
But you can make small friend groups in a large
True.
group too. I had a well, again, I went to a private college too, but I mean, but there were still like a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
Like even if I did go to a school that had 5,000 people, which my private school did, I still had like a small tight knit group of friends.
That's true.
So I don't think I'm
so-
gonna send my kids to private school. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them to public school.
I might. We haven't really talked about it yet, but
We like talked about it and like debated and like Trent's like we're sending because Trent was homeschooled too.
right.
So we decided to do everything different than what our parents.
Wow.
I mean, we both turned out really great, but like we want the responsibility to be on us.
Yeah, that's true. I loved school.
Yeah.
Not school, like learning school. I loved everything about my friends and the teachers and the way that we were taught. I loved it all. Anyways, when did you get into music? Because that had a lot to do with church.
Yeah. I feel like I started doing like more music stuff when we were little, like at church. Like that's another thing too, is even though, you know, I went to a private or Christian school, like a lot of my like love for music came from actually going to church on Sunday. And we had like kids choir. And Sabrina was one of our teachers, actually. I remember her very specifically. Remember Sabrina? She was like the big beautiful angel and all like the Christmas passions with the blonde hair. So it was crazy. It's like she was my teacher like in second grade. And then we ended up like being in choir together as adults, which is weird. I know. But I remember like loving to go to like kids choir on Sunday nights and like singing and like performing. Betty Botts was like the kids church director. Like Sunday night was like specifically kids choir, and we would like all get ready for the big production. And remember when, you know, Miss Ann would do like the cool like productions with all like the kids and the teenagers.
I was never really part of it.
Yeah, you must have been. So Miss Ann used to have like these really awesome like young productions for like kids and teenagers, and we had like Salty the Singing Songbook, and Rick Randall was a part of it too. I'm probably giving a lot of information out.
Where did we go to church?
Anyway, but like she did all these awesome productions, and I always remember like wanting to be a part of that, and just really great production value, I guess, at the church.
Yeah.
And so it made me want to be a part of it. You know what? I mean, as a kid, it looked really cool. As an adult.
Also because Dad was in choir.
Yeah, Dad was in choir. I mean, maybe the production sucked, you know, to the adults. But as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to do that. You know what I mean?
And you were on Billy Graham, weren't you?
Yeah. So Billy Graham came to San Antonio, and they like selected like maybe 10 kids to like, I have no idea how I got a part of that.
Because your bangs.
Because of my bangs and my big old glasses or whatever. So there was probably like, I would say 1,000 kids that got selected to be like in the choir, like in the stands. But we like practiced. So there was like 10 kids that we were all in different color shirts, and we were like on the stage. We practiced for like months, probably like 4 months. I might have been less, but I feel like it was 4 months.
For a year.
I mean, I don't know. And it was like the kids portion of like the Billy Graham crusade or whatever. But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Getting emotional.
Why?
Because I mean, I was like 8 or 9, and I remember, okay, this is like really intense. I remember one time, okay, oh my gosh, I cannot cry. I'm gonna drink some wine.
I never have talked to you about this either, so it's interesting.
Okay, so I remember when we were leaving at like the very end. Don't cry, I'm almost about to start my period, so I'm really emotional. So I remember like Dad turned me around. He probably doesn't even remember this, but it was like, okay, don't cry.
Just tell me.
Okay, so we turned around and Dad was like, okay, get this picture in your mind, because people came down to the altar and like, we're talking about like, becoming a Christian, like giving their lives to the Lord or whatever. And we were just like leaving, and he was like, turn around. He was like, oh my gosh. He's like, remember this, see all these people, like because of like your hard work and like going to practice all the time, like these are the people that are like gonna be in heaven with you. Like, look, I know. And I still like, I remember I was like, I'm taking a picture in my mind. I know. Dorky little me. I was like, just like staring and like drawing it out of my head. But I can still remember it. Like I'm 31. Anyways, I mean, it was kind of cool,
It's so You're over here crying and I'm just laughing at you. Oh,
I'm getting hot and sweaty. Give me one of these.
I'm sorry, it's just so funny. You'll have to watch Lauren's face. That was really funny.
Anyway,
but also, yeah, very emotional and awesome.
So then I started to like really like love music, and like I really liked, because like when someone like finds,
Stop saying like,
okay, sorry. Let me reset. But when people find something, like no matter what it is, when they find something that like gives them like peace and joy and happiness, and for us it's like, Jesus and everything and like God, it gives me a lot of joy for people to find their peace. You know what I mean? And so I just really like, that's why I started to like really get into music and like really get into like dance and like being a part of the church, because I felt like a lot of people need peace and a lot of people like need love, and I feel that little bit that I can do with like the talent that I was given really like made me happy. So, and like, I don't know,
that's cool.
The end.
Yeah, because honestly I didn't really get into it until probably middle school.
Yeah.
And you were already in high school by then. So you had already done all these things. And then you did praise band in high school.
Yeah. So
that's when I got into it.
Yeah, I was like I was 13 when I was a freshman in high school. And I was the only freshman. And everyone was like they weren't a lot older than me, but they felt a lot older than me.
Right.
And
you were the only freshman in praise band?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, and then you were at, you were singing at the church too at the same time.
Yeah. Then I auditioned for like
the youth group
in front of like the worship leader, and then like the main worship leader too. They like gave us a tape, and I wonder if Jenny and Ann remember. Like we had a VHS,
8-track, no, tape.
Yeah, a cassette tape.
Yeah,
we had to like practice and like learn, and then we had to audition in front of them. It was actually kind of intense. It was weird. Yeah, you were in middle school. Yeah, I was 17. No, so I guess I joined praise band first, and then I joined, because I was like 17 when I joined the youth band.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. What did you like? How did you get into like?
I think we did. Well, I did like the junior youth choir thing. Like you did
the main
youth,
one,
and I did the junior youth.
Okay.
So like in middle school. Mm-hmm. And then I just did we have praise band in middle school? No.
We did it. The high school kids did it.
For middle school. Yeah. No, so I didn't start until, freshman year in high school.
I remember, no, you must have been older, because I remember Dee Dee was like, I heard your sister singing, but I thought it was you, but it was like an immature version of you. Because, I mean, you were like 13 or 14 or something. So I remember her saying that.
Yeah, but how did I
don't know.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I remember doing praise band in high school because I did it.
You did it all 4 years.
Mm-hmm. I
But
remember
then-
my first solo was Hungry. Remember that song? And then I married a Hungarian.
My first solo was "Draw Me Close to You,"
That's a good one.
and I sang the first two. I sang the first two verses twice. I was like, I don't know. It has like a weird like refrain. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like I sang it wrong the first time. It was really embarrassing, actually.
Aw. Yeah, it was really intense. I think for me, it was harder because I felt like everybody knew you and praise band, because obviously if y'all did it for the middle school, if y'all like sang and led worship for the middle school team, then all of the people that I went to high school with were like, oh, you're Lauren's little sister.
But
So that was my life, you guys. Y'all don't understand. And by y'all, I mean you and Alec. Do not understand. That was my life. Lauren's sister, Alec's sister. Anyways, stop looking at me like that.
I'm annoyed by you.
Why? It's the truth. I didn't put that on myself. How did I do that?
You create your own happiness.
I didn't say I was unhappy.
Okay, good. You better be happy being Lauren's little sister.
Oh my God. Okay. So did you start playing instruments?
Man, so that's one thing that I kind of, not regret, but man, I wish I had more like room for doing like creative stuff is, I feel like we're getting away from like Christian family and like worshiping and stuff. But like, we'll say this. At a Christian school, we were only given a specific amount of opportunity for like the arts, I guess.
Okay.
Just because, there's different things or whatever. I wish, because I took praise band and guitar, and then I praise band and piano. I wish I would have taken like a theater class. I feel like I would have had.
That's not what I asked you, but okay.
What did you ask me?
What instruments do you play?
No, you said you did.
What instruments do you
Oh, okay.
play?
So that's what I mean. Is like I took piano class and I took guitar class.
Okay.
But even though like
So you were getting off topic by talking about theater. Not me.
Anyway, so I play
took
guitar
theater.
and I know. But you still like play guitar and piano. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't play guitar very well.
But
But
you
I did
do.
take guitar class.
you did?
Yeah.
With Mr. Tang?
Yes. Heck yes, for half a semester, and I never went to class. Sorry, Mr. Tang.
You didn't?
No, Alec and I skipped because we had praise band first period and guitar second period.
Wow.
We were like, we're coming into class at 11 o'clock. We're going into school.
What?
Sorry, Mom.
That's another thing too. I feel like at a public school you couldn't do that. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what public school life is like.
I hear that they hide in trunks to go to off-campus lunch if they didn't have an off-campus lunch. That's all I really knew about
Oh, okay.
public school. Also,
guess.
one time I went to public school. Like, like we had the day off.
We should have asked Caroline because she went 1 year at public school.
I went one day just for like the end of the day because I had the day off and they didn't. And I like went to go visit my boyfriend at the time. And I like went to class with him and I sat in the class.
And the
it was
teacher
a sub.
didn't know?
It was a sub.
Wow.
I took the test. Yeah.
What class was it?
I don't remember. I think it was math. I think. And I remember
You'll never know
the
what your
sub-
grade was.
No, the sub had like a piece of paper that said like be quiet. And you just be quiet. Yeah.
That is so weird.
And way off topic. I'm sorry.
I wonder if they were like, who the hell is Alyssa Hernandez?
Yeah.
And why did they take this test? They got 110.
They're prodigy.
They were like, there's no curve because this Alyssa Hernandez got 110. No curve for anyone.
Oh man. That would have sucked. That's pretty hilarious. Anyways,
I got wine on me.
let's get back to topic really quick before we finish.
That's what she said.
We can say, wow, we're talking about Christianity. Okay,
So,
we're talking about school.
God
Okay,
created sex?
you went to college and majored in worship arts. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
You
So,
can hear that. Like,
I know. I'm getting hot and sweaty. And so I'm like fanning myself. Yes, I did. So, yeah, initially my major was, okay, this is how like crazy. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And at 18
Neither
to decide
18-year-olds.
at 17, I was 17 to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life is bonkers, you know? So my first major I feel was nursing, which what? My second major was vocal performance.
Ooh.
Never taken a vocal class in my life.
Before that?
Yes, when I went to college and
Wow.
I remember my vocal teacher was like, "You don't know what key this is?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Read this. Sight read this." And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Oh my God." Yeah, it's pretty bad. And my next one was education. So I stayed with that for like a year. And then I transferred to ORU. And it was weird. Like transferring from like a community college to university, especially a private university, there's so many like things I feel like are missed. Like things don't transfer.
Yeah.
It's pretty crappy. Anyway, so I had to like retake classes. It was really dumb. So I was in education. And what's really great is, so my major was education and my minor was worship arts.
Okay.
And I feel like the reason why I was placed with Joyce, who is my roommate at ORU, is because her major was education and her minor was worship arts.
Oh,
I know. And then her
God knows what's up.
for real. And so her roommate left mid-semester to get married. And so I came in mid-semester and like that's how I got placed.
She got ringed by spring.
She got ringed by spring. She totally did. Yeah, that's like a total like Christian university thing. Ring by spring. Yeah. So yeah, and now Joyce is like one of my best friends ever, and she was in my wedding, and we were roommates for like a long time. Like
and we love Joyce.
Yeah.
But you get off topic so quickly. My question was, why did you major in worship leading and you ended it with I love Joyce?
Listen, this is just my life, okay? Anyway, so yeah, I majored in worship leading because I didn't want to major in education, and worship arts was my minor. And I was like, I might as well just make it my major.
Yeah.
And so I did.
And then you got a job in it.
Yeah. So
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was, so the school didn't really like know what to do with it. Honestly, it was a new major. And they were like, we're going to make it Bachelor of Science, like worship arts, bachelor. I have a Bachelor of Science. And it was like, we're going to make it half music, half theater. So I had to take like theater classes.
Oh yeah, you like directed a play.
I had to like direct a play. So I did get a little bit of like acting eventually, you know, but I never like acted in a.
And you never did musical theater, which you would have loved.
I know. So
I loved it. I wish I was more confident whenever I did it.
It's your skinny eyebrows.
Yeah, you jerk.
You're gonna stab me? Yeah. Jeez. I took Alyssa one time to get her eyebrows threaded, and they made them really skinny, and she was in a play like the next week, and she has no eyebrows.
And I didn't realize that you could fill them in and make them thicker at the time.
Anyway, so my major, it was like, yeah, I had to like direct plays. I took screenwriting. I took intro to acting. Like,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
yeah. So
I mean, I knew you directed a play.
I did like a lot of like theater, intro to audio production, intro to like technical production. I did like a lot of like stage design. Like it was pretty.
That's cool.
It was cool. I had to do like songwriting and arranging. I had to do church administration, which is a weird thing. I had to take like a youth class, like about how to deal with youth.
Yikes.
I don't know. I feel like it was a lot of like weird made up classes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I made a lot of really great friends, a lot of really great connections.
And that's why you paid thousands and thousands of dollars for school.
Goodbye. This podcast is over.
Sorry. This podcast is over.
Is it? Oh.
You were about to literally walk out of here.
I'm joking, but I mean, I am thousands of dollars in school debt.
My last question was going to be, and it's like a weird question. It's like, what do you think about other Christians and other worship leaders?
That's a general question.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you don't have to answer it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it was food for thought.
I have a lot of thoughts about Christians and other worship leaders.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have to get more specific.
Okay. What do you feel like is, how do I want to say this?
I don't know.
What do you feel like is your job as a Christian now and as a worship leader now? Well, yeah, whatever.
I think that my job as a Christian now is to literally just be light and love.
Yeah.
And like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like, like to other people, like
yeah.
vertically, I guess you can say.
Vertically, horizontally.
Horizontally. This is what thousands and thousands of dollars of education gets you. Horizontally.
You know, vertically.
Yeah, I went to college. I have a degree. Alyssa does not.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and she's smarter.
It makes lots of money.
It makes lots of money. Anyway, so yeah, I think that my job is to just like literally just be love and just be like light, be joy, be happiness. And that's all that I want to be. And that's what I always strive to be.
Yeah.
Vertically as a Christian, I feel that it's just to have like a connection with God and to, you know, always just find a like center and like some inner peace with like him and me, if that makes sense. And what was the other question?
That was it. And worshiping.
Oh, I don't feel like ever since I was little, like 8, I don't think that it's changed much, is like just to have my talents and like what I can do to have people find peace.
Yeah.
And like love. And
that's so cool that you knew that at 8 years old.
I didn't.
but that you recognized these people found their peace and Dad recognized it was because of your hard work.
Yeah.
And your thought was, I want people to feel like this. And I want to help people find this through my talents and hard work. At 8 years old. With your mental picture.
Man, we need to get like Zyrtec.
Yeah, before we start.
Or cough drops. I need a puff of my inhaler.
Oh.
Y'all, I had bangs, short hair, glasses.
She's awkward.
An inhaler.
And you have so much more self-confidence than I do. And I was a boy. So. Never mind. We all have our faults.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's good. I also want to be joy.
Yeah. What do you think of other Christians and what do you want to do?
I think other Christians, generally speaking, I was going to speak really quick and be awful, but I think that there are a lot of really terrible, quote unquote, Christians out there. And I feel like
there are terrible people out there.
Yeah.
You
that
know?
claim to be Christians.
But there are terrible people out there that
in
claim
general
to be, Muslim. There are terrible people out there that claim to be Mormon.
Satanists.
There are terrible people that claim to be,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. But I think as a whole, our society looks at, when they say Christian, our society tends to think judgmental. They tend to think holier than thou type persona. And so I feel like I want to be a Christian that makes that those people are like, oh, she's not judgmental. Oh, she's not holier than thou. Like,
How about like Jesus?
right.
Like he wasn't like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I think that it's my job I think it's our jobs. It's our jobs to be like Jesus. And our job, to be like Jesus and to be love and love everyone, period. like no matter what. Like that's what we're meant to be. That's what we're meant to do, and that's what we're meant to show in our talents, whether it be like worship leading, theater, acting, like whatever, you know.
I feel like we also connect like mostly with the arts side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's people who can do that through like, you know, their work life, whether it's like if they're more
corporate,
yeah, or if they're like a boss and like that's their talent is to like manage people. Like they just manage people really well.
Manage it in love.
Yeah, or like if I don't know, if you're more like in the medical field and like, you know, every day, obviously like that, I guess can be creative, but it's more, to me, it's more like
scientific.
Yeah, and like, but like it's a human interaction. I feel like every single job is, no matter what, I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but is like a human interaction, and that's like what
horizontal. Anyways, all is love. All is love.
All is love. All is love. All is love. All is love. What was it? All is love. All is. Thank you, Matthew Silver, Farts Hearts. All is love.